So happy Saturday, everyone. Here we are with the Note Show. And our topic today is great live events for mortgage note investors. And we've got Diego Gerardo here. Is that pronounced? Is that correct? Even close?
Close enough.
And Ivan Terrero. And I'm on the West Coast, they're on the East Coast. So we have the continent surrounded here at the moment. And so we uh over the weeks, many times people have mentioned various live events or conventions related to real estate investing and note investing, and and anyway, let's just talk a bit about why it's a really good idea. So I think it's a great idea because you get to learn a lot. Almost all of them have presentations from people in the industry. You learn quite a bit, and then you meet other people that maybe not just investors, also servicers, lawyers, all sorts of people related to the industry, and then you get to network and you can make some great deals, right? You get together and maybe the maybe maybe all the best stuff happens in the lounge or the local restaurant or something, or in the breaks in between. Anyway, Diego, do you want to have you experienced some events or any that what do you have to say about this?
Well, Greg, I can disagree. This is the best thing that you can do. I think we all get started learning about the notes and how great this is as a business. And the first people we reach out to is family members, friends, co-workers, people that we know in our community. And the first thing they say, "Oh, that's illegal. That cannot be something you should be doing." Yeah, you can go to jail. All that stuff. But when you go to these conventions, when you go to these seminars and events with like-minded people who are in the same searching of information, and you get to know others who are in that same level of knowledge, and we know this is all legal and it's been around for so many years, you feel like you find your home. So that's my advice. This is something that everybody should be doing. If you're in looking for this type of information, that's the place to go and find the people who are like-minded, and together, just like here, start working on a project that is not just to benefit one person but the entire community.
No, that's fabulous. I've had that experience too. I've said, so I'm working with these people, note investors, and the people say that's a Ponzi scheme or something's got to be illegal. So, and that I'm in Canada, but I researched and it wasn't. I took like 15 seconds to find some pretty high profile people doing note investing in Canada. But so it's but it's just that's the way people think sometimes. And Dr. Ivan, you said you haven't been to one, but you've known a few and you're planning to go to a few.
So I have not been to one, and because I am a part of a note investor group, in the group there is sort of a requirement that we have to attend at least one event while we are part of the group. And I have always come up with something has come up where I could have not been able to attend. And this year, the line in the sand was drawn saying that I need to attend at least one event. And I am attending one event next month, hopefully in November in Dallas. So, and what I've heard is that the events are, depending on the event, most of the people that are there are open to new individuals that are willing to learn, and they're willing to give knowledge freely and to help you come into the fold. That's what I've been told. So I'm hoping this will be an event that this way I can meet like-minded people, and hopefully I can come up with either people that are interested in investing in our notes or people that are interested in other markets.
Yeah. And that's my understanding too. It's a great place for people who are new or just like they've heard about this, they don't know what it is yet. It's a perfect place to go see one. I think all of them have large educational components to them. They have, presentations,
Mhm.
speakers,
Mhm.
and then when you see that there are other people who are doing it, it's just like it's not a closed society of some kind of activity. It's and I think some of them can be really fun. I've got a list here. I'm gonna put on the screen. Here I need to push this one here. If this is put out by the noteinvestor.com, and it's a listing ones here, popular for note buyers, and basically Cash Flow Expo, Diversified Mortgage Expo. I think the person who runs the Diversified Mortgage Expo has been he's been a guest at the Node Investor University a few times. And I understand, I think a Canadian bought it. So,
Really?
yeah. So, and what of its claim to fame is that if you go I think let's say it starts on a Saturday. If you get there on a Friday, go to a bar, and there's axe throwing, and
Oh, yes, that's true. That is
you get a
true.
bunch,
He did. A Canadian did buy it. That's
yeah.
true. Yes.
I'm still not sure axe throwing and alcohol really mix, but it's probably a lot of fun. So,
Mhm.
and Nashville's a lot of fun too. All these places are in fun places. Dallas, lots of stuff to do there. Las Vegas, Irving. I don't know if there's anything at Orlando anybody would want to see, but
Well, I think there's one in Orlando. Like I said,
yeah,
I'm having trouble finding it here online
yeah.
because I
There's this
know.
one. Yeah,
Sorry.
one listed here is IMN defaulted notes. Oh, that's something Larry would probably like, right? The
INM, yes, defaulted
bent
notes
and
in
dented
Orlando.
notes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
those, from what I heard, the IMN defaulted note convention, that is geared mainly towards institutions
yeah.
that have
Okay.
a lot of money to invest in defaulted notes. That's from Larry and actually from Desi who told me about that.
Yeah, yeah. And I Alden there were a couple of Alden's in Phoenix, Arizona,
Mhm.
the Win Mobile, and I guess there are a couple of similar events in Arizona. So I was hoping he would come on and talk about those.
We're,
Mhm.
we're about to get one going in Arkansas. I just made a trip a couple of weeks ago, and I met with people in the local community, and we're gonna get one going in Little Rock.
Okay, that's awesome. So I'm going to, along with this broadcast, I'm going to create an article which will list these things. And when yours is going in Arkansas, we'll list that one, and we'll gradually build up a list and links to all of these events. And I know the Desi and Patrick with the Note Investor University have been doing things like boat cruises and little getaways and stuff. So
Mhm.
that's kind of fun. It's not really a convention in the same way. Okay, here we go. And here's Rodney.
Hello, guys.
We need somebody to
Oh,
balance our Hollywood squares. We were out of whack here without you. How did the game go?
It went well. They don't keep score. It's five. Well, he's five. My grandson is five. So it's just a lot of running up and down the field. And today the grass was a little wet, so
Yeah.
slippery and falling, but it was enjoyable.
Yeah, it's all good.
Yeah.
So we've been talking about, maybe you've been listening, you know what we've been talking about.
No, I wasn't able to listen. I said, let me
Yeah.
check and see if you guys are still going. And
Yeah. So we've been talking about why it's could be fun and educational, and also a good place to network, to go to some of these events, like um, the paper. What we got? The
paper stack.
NoteExpo, Noteworthy, Diversified. We're just talking about Diversified Mortgage Expo in Nashville, Tennessee. If you go the day before, you can go to the bar and participate in some axe throwing. So it's a fun place. Nashville is a fun place to go anyway. And so and Diego just said that they're working on one in Arkansas. Have you been to any, Rodney, yet? Or
Yes, I've been to the Note. I went to NoteExpo in 2022.
In
Uh,
Dallas,
yeah, in Dallas, and recently to the DME in where was that?
Nashville.
Tennessee. Hmm.
Yeah, Nashville. Yeah.
Did you participate in the axe throwing contest?
No, I didn't go to the extracurricular activities. No, they were all booked, and I didn't want to attend that anyway.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. So what was your experience? What did you learn out of it?
it's always great to network, and you never know what you're going to pick up on that you could utilize in your niche of business. So it's always great to hear all the different aspects of, in my case, note investing, because there's various categories you can jump into. So
Yeah, there's lots of different ways of doing it for sure.
most definitely.
And you probably met people, professionals in fields that you didn't know you needed to know, like
Yeah.
servicers and lawyers and things like of specialists.
Yeah, and it's always great to actually put a face to the name, or just talking like this too, and just to see them in person. So
Yeah.
I always find that great.
Did you have any discussions with possible collaborators for investments?
Yes, from DME. He's on Desi's mastermind sessions. Dave Frazier, he and I connected, um, as well as Carlo Turner.
Okay. Yeah.
And of course, Maurice. And I'm going to talk to Dr. Ivan a little bit more, because I mentioned in the past that we're sitting on 39 acres, and my wife has mentioned that she wants to try to do mobile homes. So
Okay. So you got the right people in the room.
oh yeah.
Yeah, we know enough. Diego and I know enough to get ourselves in trouble. Is that right, Diego?
That's right. We're trying to figure out how to get out of trouble now.
Yeah. So that's good. You got somebody who's got the land, and then some people who know something about it and have some resources. So it's a good collaboration.
Yes, always.
Yeah, always a good collaboration for sure. So was there are a couple things you wanted to make some comments, Dr. Ivan, about the interest rates?
Okay, so we know that just recently the Federal Reserve decreased the interest rate. So when the Federal Reserve, the Fed, interest rate decisions, it has a significant impact on both CDs and the usual U.S. Treasury market. So the effect on CDs is this: when there are higher Fed rates, higher CDs. So when the Fed raise interest rates, the banks typically increase the interest rates on the deposit products, including CDs. So this is because banks need to offer more competitive returns to attract depositors when borrowing costs rise. So when the Fed lowers rates, you have lower CD rates. So conversely, when the Fed cuts rates, the interest paid on their CD often decreases as banks obtain cheaper funding elsewhere and don't need to offer return to depositors. So the demand starts shifting. So when the Fed raise interest rates, the CDs become more attractive because the depositors can lock in higher yields. Lower rates tend to make CDs less attractive relative to other investments, such as because their return decreases. So that effect on the Treasury market is that there's an inverse relationship with yields. When the Fed rate hikes, when the Fed rate hikes, that influence short-term interest rates, which directly fuels the yield on short-term Treasury securities, that is T-bills. Okay, so when the Fed raises yields, the yields on newly issued Treasuries decrease. Hold on a second.
So anyway, I guess Dr. Ivan's got a phone call here. Anyway, I'm scrolling along the bottom of the screen here at noteinvestor.com, a listing of many of the main shows and conventions that you can go see. And I think Diego, he's back. You never know what happens on live broadcasts,
Well,
right?
at least the tree didn't fall on my roof. Okay, so where was I? Okay, I think what I was at when Feds raised their rates to make CDs more attractive. So when bond prices fall, the yields on the Treasury bonds also become less attractive. It causes their prices to fall. So when bond prices rise with the Fed cuts, the lower rates lead to lower yields on Treasuries, making older bonds and higher rates more attractive, driving up their prices. So what does it have to do with notes? Simple. With a note investment, you have a guaranteed rate for the life of the note. This means that if you are buy a note, let's say with a 12% interest rate, you're getting that 12% on a monthly basis contractually until the note is paid off. So I think this is what makes notes more attractive to investors versus CDs. As you know, the Fed uh, looks at rates, I think it's every 6 months or so. And according to what the economy is, they'll either increase the rates or decrease the rates. So if you have a need for a certain amount of cash flow every month, by investing in notes, those returns are guaranteed. Of course, there are some risks to investing in notes because the note investor, three things could happen. The borrower pays as agreed, either they can pay off early, which increases your yield, or they stop paying. So what happens when they stop paying? You can do one of three things. You can modify the loan to increase your yield. Two, you can decrease the payments and also modifying the loan to increase your yield. Or three, you can take the property back. So you have something physical that you can actually become an owner of if the option three comes to fruition. So I think that makes a note investing a higher and a more profitable investment than CDs or T-bills.
Yeah, that's fabulous.
And
Okay.
let me just add one thing to that, because if you have the opportunity to modify the note, you're not only increasing your yield on one end, but you're also helping that homeowner stay in the property. So
Exactly.
you're helping them in that regard. So you're not that land baron trying to take over the home, because in most cases we don't want the house. Well,
Exactly.
Yeah. No, that's come up repeatedly in previous broadcasts. Is that a reason why many people are in the space is to help people keep in their house, stay in their house when the banks won't necessarily help them. So, yeah.
Yep. Yep. We have a couple of case studies regarding that. And again, our objective was not to become a landlord. Our objective was and is to make sure that the homeowner stays in his home.
Yeah. And related to that, Diego has a lot of concern and has a way of helping people affected by the hurricane recently. If you want to talk about your nonprofit a bit here.
oh wow.
Thank you, Greg. Yes, actually, with Dr. Ivan, we had a really interesting call during the week with Richard, who's been involved with the HUD, which is a topic that we were discussing a couple of weeks ago. And we have a property under contract in the state of Georgia. It's 125 acres of land that is zoned for RV park and storage units. And I just reached out to the owner of this land that we are negotiating. And he just told me that he has some kind of connections with FEMA, that we could use this land as a storage unit for the support that the people are sending to the victims of this event. And I know somebody in North Carolina who's been affected. I got the picture. Her house was covered all the way up to the roof. So we are, through our nonprofit, Stump Soup Foundation, we are asking for donations, any like campers, mobile homes, tiny homes, anything that can be a temporary housing for these people in this community that has been affected. We are starting a volunteer program to go and rebuild this community, because the flooring put many people out of their houses. So this is something that we appreciate any help, and anybody who has a camper sitting in their backyard doing nothing and they want to donate it. We are a nonprofit organization. We can give you a receipt from for your taxes for next year, because we are a 501c nonprofit.
Oh, that's great. So I put the link to the stonesoupfoundation.org in the comments, and so if anybody wants to get
Also,
involved and help.
also because we are in the note investing, we also wanted to share that we have some notes that are available for anybody who wants to contribute, and at the same time, put their money to work for them. We have some notes at a significant discount, like a wholesale price, for them to be able to support these activities. We're going to be generating job opportunities and developing these communities. And we have a good number of notes in the state of Georgia and Arkansas that can be purchased at a discount. Put your money to work for you, and we can use that cash as a capital to rebuild these communities.
That's fabulous.
Good.
Do we have any other announcements before we let people carry on with their Saturday, or any other comments?
I don't have anything else to add. So Rodney, since you have, I'll give the floor to you. How's that?
Well, one thing to follow up on what Diego just put out there, I'll be interested in what notes you have and what the terms are. So.
Okay, thank you. We will send you the information offline. Dr. Ivan has access to the notes that we have, and any help will be appreciated, Ronnie. Thank you so much.
That's great. And I'm just going to put a link in the comments here to Dr. Ivan's website, thenotedoctor.com, and so that's a good place to start. And you're everybody here is available on LinkedIn, and so you can reach out, contact through LinkedIn, and check out the websites that were listed. And so we're all good for today.
I think we're all good.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining today, and this has been very helpful, and I hope many people take you up on your nonprofit to help people who have been displaced.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you, guys.
Okay.
Right.
Thank you.
Good evening.
All right. Take care.
Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.
All right.